everyone, welcome to the Smart Economy Podcast. We're at day one of Permissionless III, and we're joined by Micha Benoliel, the CEO of Nodle. How are you doing today, Micha?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing, Dylan?
I'm doing great. We were about to go on lunch, and then you walked up, and we got to chatting, and I was like, we need to hit the record button now. You have a really cool background and really cool story, and I love what Nodle is doing. You actually gave me a quick little demo. But before we get into all of that, can you share your genesis into blockchain and crypto, and why are you building here today?
Well, I believe in freedom, I believe in innovation, I also believe in privacy. I fell into crypto pretty early. In my previous company, our team and I were mining Bitcoin in 2012.
Wow.
So we've been at this for a long time. And then after a first experience with decentralized network on smartphones, I realized that actually crypto would be the way to keep on incentivizing people building infrastructure using smartphones, and also do super interesting things with smartphones and prove things like content today, like we do with the Click app.
Mm-hmm. And so, like, why smartphones? Everybody in at least the States and maybe the West, there's a lot of laptop users, but if you go across the world, there's a lot of mobile users. So was it this kind of global focus that made you want to build using smartphones, or was it just like the native intuitive experience that you had with the devices?
Well, I think if you want to have a successful decentralized infrastructure, you need to be on as many devices as possible. Mm-hmm. And you have 7 billion smartphones out there. It's clearly the most distributed and computing platform. And then we have a strong DNA with the team to build successful products and experiences on smartphones.
Yeah, and so you actually shared a little bit of a really cool project that you were working on previously with smartphones that leverage trusted environments so that people could without censorship and without fear of having their messages be deleted, share messages with one another that were used during times of like political stress and upheaval. So how does this kind of roots in this ideology of freedom, how does it translate to what you're doing at Nodle?
Well, today we built a decentralized infrastructure of smartphones. I like to call it the smartphone infrastructure. And when you participate, you just need to download an app. You can download our Nodle wallet and you join a network. And the system pays you for sharing some resources of your phone. Mm-hmm. You can share location, Bluetooth for locating assets. You can share some, also your networking interface. You can share some CPU. And you get paid for it. Mm-hmm. So that's basically the genesis of what we do. And we realized that we could also do that with content and enable people to share content on any platform, but keep the ownership of that content and authenticate it. And with Gen AI exponentially growing and generating, billions of content, it's kind of necessary today to push a layer of authenticity on the internet. Mm-hmm. And you can do that with the latest app we launched, which is called the Click app. And any photo or video you take can be shared online on any social, any messaging, and you keep the ownership, and also has a seal of authenticity that is generated by you, by a human, and it's not AI generated.
Yeah, and so Micha actually took a selfie with the two of us, and then you showed me, you just like slid for your signature that was already pre-authenticated into the phone, and you verified that we took that picture, it was yours, and then you shared that link with me. What was really cool to me is that I've seen a lot of fear popping up for deep faking videos, and I have my own fears hosting a podcast where my audio is out there, that people might be able to take my voice and run it through some sort of translator where they can call and maybe even do like a SIM swap using my voice for if they call a telephone company. So the solution that you're providing really hits home to me because it allows me to verify that I indeed did create a piece of content that I'm sharing with the world. How far away are we from the solution that you're providing needing to be a necessity in day-to-day life? When is the internet going to be creating photos or written content that I need to be able to verify a human wrote? And not necessarily me, someone who's really interested in crypto, but like my mom, when she needs to verify she's reading something real. How far away are we from this world?
I think it's happening now. Gen AI already generated the equivalent of 150 years of photos online in just a year and a half. And it's exponential, so probably maybe twice that number already. compared to when I had the stats at the beginning of the year. So it's really moving super fast. So we made this tool super easy to use. Anyone can download the app and start authenticating their content. And for influencers like you, it's key because today you have influencers that get their content online stolen, their face replaced using AI, and people profit from basically the content that you or another influencer created.
Yeah. So taking a step back, Nodle is 7 years old. What was the inspiration initially to launch implementing support for blockchain? Was it the fact that you could tokenize rewards for people sharing their compute space? Was it because there might have been an opportunity for digital identity solutions? What was kind of the genesis for wanting to build
the first one.
Yeah?
The first one. So basically you maintaining a process on your phone and being rewarded by the system for sharing the resources of your phone, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then in the years since, 7 years, there's been a lot of changes to this technology. There's been a lot of new features and functionality that's arisen. Where else do you see blockchain providing a solution for Nodle?
Well, identity is a big piece. Actually, in the Click app, we are going to bring identity pretty soon. And payment, obviously.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like we've got with the Click app, it's a great example of how the blockchain layer complements the internet perfectly. You have the content, you have the identity, and you have the payment solution, all on the same layer. So you could be creating a piece of content, and someone at the other side of the planet may want to pay for the content to use it, basically. And they don't need to know you. They can just basically send you tokens for the content you created directly and use that content.
And so Click enables content creators an opportunity to earn funds off of the work that they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, and so Click is live?
It's live in public beta since South by Southwest this year, so since April.
Okay,
yeah.
And is it for Android or iOS?
Both Android and iOS.
And what was the process like getting a blockchain-enabled application through the stringent iOS processes in Apple Store?
Well, very good question. We have a long time experience with this because we started with the Nodle wallet. Mm-hmm. We pushed our first app in 2018 and 2019 on both OS. So, it's you have to navigate both ecosystems of Android and iOS. Certain things are possible on iOS and are not possible on Android, or the other way around. Like for example, just minting an NFT through the wallet on iOS, users need to pay. It's an in-app purchase process, where on Android they can use the token to mint the NFT. So you have to adapt. But we still believe the mobile phone is the best way to basically distribute this technology and make it ubiquitous.
Something that I think is really cool about your origin story and the growth since is that you were at the cutting edge in 2017. You launched your rewards token on Stellar and then migrated to Polkadot, and now you're on ZK Sync. So can you just share with us the story arc of why you launched on Stellar back in 2017 when everyone was using Ethereum, and then why you migrated to Polkadot and then to ZK Sync?
Well, that's a very good question. There's a lot of technicality needed in the answer, but I'll try to give you a high level. So when we started, we knew we were going to have a very high level of transactions. So Stellar was value proposition originally was for micropayments and basically enabling a large volume of transactions. And pretty quickly, we were doing 70% of all the transactions on Stellar. So and they were very supportive from the beginning, and they asked us politely, Micha, maybe you have to find another chain because basically we were representing 70% of the traffic. It was 1.4, I think, million transactions per day at some point. So we looked at other solutions, and because we need to do a lot of custom development on mobile, and with the applications we are developing, we decided to go on Substrate. Mm-hmm. And then we became naturally from Substrate a parachain and got validated by the Polkadot network. Basically that was the path. And then up until recently, we were growing faster than Polkadot itself. And the number one parachains by number of accounts and new users actually joining the ecosystem. And I think Polkadot never really understood the DePIN from early on. Mm-hmm. And we are the largest DePIN even today by number of participating devices. and they had a hard time understanding what we were really doing. So I think we didn't get the support we could have had, and also the parachain ecosystem was mainly geared towards also supporting the Polkadot, I would say, token, especially with this auction that happened with to get a parachain slot, which were crazy. And then I think today it's clear that Ethereum is a big winner, and we think L2 also is the solution. So we looked at all the technologies out there, the optimistic rollups, and we looked at zero knowledge technology, and more particularly zk Sync. And we were very, very seduced by the technological solution with zk Sync. And then Matter Labs gave us an incredible support. Mm-hmm. And so we now have a bridge from Polkadot to zk Sync era, and the users start to move actually their token. And all the new users on both apps, the wallet and the Click app, are now automatically creating an account on zk Sync era when they install the app.
And so something that I really like about Click and the ideology that you have is that a user can onboard using in 90 seconds or less, like you said, and they'll be able to start earning. So you're really onboarding the masses. Are you starting to kind of get a sense of who among the folks using Click and using Nodle are Web3 natives, and who are maybe coming into using their first Web3 dApp?
So very good question. I would say 20% of the people who are on the network are tech-savvy people. They like the innovation, they like the technology, and at the beginning they were more curious to figure out how it would work to participate in such network with their smartphone. 80% were, I would say, crypto aficionados, people who are looking to become rich from in a couple of days through crypto. But I think more and more we educate these people. We also educate them on the need to authenticate content and own the content they share on socials. So I think it's evolving. All that is evolving. But the core have been tech-savvy people.
Yeah, and so when you migrated to zk Sync, was it these privacy-enabled solutions that Zero Knowledge just has, or was it because the EVM L2 just met the architecture that you needed for speed and ability for people to interact with EVM?
Both things.
Okay.
But what's interesting is we couldn't have, when we started in 2017-18, we couldn't have imagined we would end up on Ethereum. But the technology, the ecosystem evolving now enables us to be present there and to leverage Ethereum, where we couldn't have done that back in 2018.
Yeah, was it because the network was too clogged and fees were too high?
We would have clogged the network, we would have had to probably spend hundreds of millions of dollars on transactions just to settle the rewards with all our users, so no, it would have been impossible.
Kind of zooming out, you've been building here in the States for quite a while. You've been building a Web3 company since 2017. We've been witnessing some ambiguity in regulations, maybe even some hostility from our legislators and folks at the top. Where do you view the US going for Web3 builders and companies? Do you think that there's light on the other side of the end of the tunnel, or are we in for some more pain? Are you guys concerned at all about being located in the US and running a Web3 business?
So it has been a real challenge from the beginning. And I think it's limiting actually not just startups like us who are building in the Web3 ecosystem on blockchain, but actually it's limiting the possibilities for the expansion of the American economy. Mm-hmm. And I do believe that the ethos of Web3 actually match very well the freedom spirit and innovation spirit of America. So until now, the lack of regulation has been limiting this expansion. I do believe that we're going to see the end of the tunnel soon. I have faith in that, and I mean, when you are an entrepreneur, faith is the number one thing you need to build and to keep on going. So yeah, I do believe it's going to happen at some point soon, hopefully.
Yeah, praying. So wrapping up, zooming out, maybe an unfair question because we're only half of the way through the first day of the conference, but what's a takeaway that you're taking from Permissionless? What's a key concept or something you've noted from this event in particular that might have struck you as interesting?
Well, I was a little biased because I came earlier from Permissionless for a retreat with Blockworks and Matter Labs, ZK Sync. So I was already with a great group of people and entrepreneurs from Web3. So that was already amazing. So I would say it's the opportunity to get more friends in the ecosystem. And my first impression from this morning was, all the great people are here. So yeah, it's an amazing conference, but it's just starting. So I'll tell you more maybe tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
Yeah. If somebody's interested in downloading Click and learning more about Nodle, connecting with you, what's the best way that they can do that?
So on X or Twitter, my username is Anthenor, Anthenor. Otherwise, you can find me online pretty easily. So, and for the Click app, it's clickapp.com and nodle.com, nodle.com or Click app, CLICK app.com.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for your time, Micha.
Thank you, Dylan.
And if you want to see any other of the interviews we've had here at Permissionless, head over to the Neo News Today YouTube channel to catch all of the live interviews.